Hello everyone, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. I've got something really cool for you today. Me and Gerry from Gerry's Craft Room got together and we did a little collab. So what we did was we both made backgrounds and then exchanged them. She made cards with my backgrounds and I made cards with hers. So this is one of the backgrounds that she sent me. And she did Distress inks with an embossing folder on some cardstock, and we are going to embellish it to make a card out of it. So I thought these backgrounds are really cool. She used Distress Oxide inks to get the kind of patchy, chalky look to them. And so what I've done is taken a Versamark pad, which is a clear, sticky embossing ink, and I've just rubbed it lightly over the edges, and that's going to just pick up some of the raised edges from the embossing. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Holographic, which is a clear, sparkly powder, along with Enchanted Gold, which is a clear, sparkly gold powder. Both from Ranger, and just kind of around the edges to give some sparkle but also heighten the orangey gold look to it. And you can see as that melts, kind of darkens a little bit and kind of helps the orangey golden tones to stand out against the blue teal tones and the rest of the background. So pretty. So the stamp set I'm going to use is Scribbly Birds from Dina Wakley. And I really like this set because it's really bold images. So I've got some vellum with some Stick It sheet adhesive on the back. And I like this sheet adhesive because it's super thin, die cuts really well. It's also heat resistant. So when you use it on the back of cardstock or vellum, you can heat emboss with it and it doesn't warp or crack or peel or anything. So I stamped my bird on a piece of vellum, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment on another piece of vellum, also with Stick It on the back. And we did not heat emboss the bird, but we are going to heat emboss the sentiment. So I stamped that twice using some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And then I'm going to add Versamark on the top so I can heat emboss it. And I'm going to use the holographic embossing powder from Ranger again. So I've got two oval dies, and I'm going to cut two sizes of ovals from some glitter paper, which is a copper color, and then also I'm going to cut out my sentiment using a smaller oval so that we can create a stacked sentiment. So I've kind of fussy cut my bird out using a pair of really thin trimming scissors. And these are really useful for fussy cutting, which I really don't enjoy. But they don't have dies for these, so you make it work. And if you are fussy cutting and have trouble doing it, a tip that I have learned is to move the paper instead of moving your scissors, and that will make things easier. So here I'm just kind of messing around with it, trying to figure out my placement. And I really liked how the bird kind of standing on top of the sentiment looked really cool. So I've got some score tape or Be Creative tape. And that is a 1/2 inch wide, so I'm going to put that on the back of my glitter paper oval. I'm going to stick that down. And then add my vellum oval with my sentiment. And then I like to kind of burnish these down. Anytime I'm using vellum, I will burnish it down using a piece of paper over the top to avoid damaging my vellum at all. And then I'll burnish it down using a bone folder. And I also like to do this because I want the embossed texture of the cardstock to kind of come through that vellum a little bit. And that finished up the first one. And then here is our second one. So I'm going to use, let's see, my list, the Tim Holtz Birthday Blueprint stamps. This is an older set, but it's really perfect for masculine cards. And this one is going to be a birthday card for my big brother. And he doesn't like getting cards, but every time I see him open one of my cards, he gets a big smile on his face. So I know he's just fibbing. Guys like cards too. And I've left in how I clean my stamps just because I had a lot of questions on it. And so I don't like baby wipes for cleaning my stamps because no matter what baby wipe I've tried, it leaves fibers behind. So what I found was a microfiber cloth. You can get these in any cleaning section, any grocery store, Target, Walmart, wherever, and a stamp cleaner. So these microfiber cloths don't leave lint behind, but they're really good at getting into all the nooks and crannies. So that's what I like to use to clean my stamps. So I've got some Bristol Smooth cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I like Memento with my Copics because it doesn't smear. But using the Bristol Smooth cardstock, because it's a little bit thicker, you do need to let it dry. I usually leave these between 15 and 20 minutes just to be safe. And then I'm going to go with my Copics. So for the bottom of my cupcake, let's see, I have E29, 37, 30, 47, and 49. So I've got 4 colors. And I like these stamps specifically because in the drawing, it gives you the light and dark areas. So where you see the cross hatching in the stamped image is where you're going to put your shadows. So it makes it really easy to know where to put your light and where to put your dark. And if you are new to Copic markers, I highly recommend you head over to Sandy Allnack's website. It's artclasses.com, and I'll leave a link in the description box. But she has a lot of really good Copic starting out classes on her website. And the Copic Jumpstart class specifically is what I recommend for beginners to Copics, because it explains the numbering system, what the different numbers mean in terms of marker intensity for the ink colors. And she also goes over shading, how to get shadows, where to put your darks and lights and highlights, and all of those important tips if you want really to add depth to your coloring, which is why most people buy and work with Copics to begin with. So if you're new to them, or you've had them for a while and you're not very good at them, head over there and invest in one of her classes, and I promise you, you won't be sorry. So for the frosting, I've used 23, 25, and 27. 23 is going to be my lightest, 25 is my mid-tone, and 27 is the darkest. And for the cake portion, the kind of in between the liner and the frosting, I just used E29 in there. So I'm going to keep my candle simple because this is for a guy. So I originally started out with B00, 02, and 05, but I wasn't really getting the depth in the candle that I wanted. So I went with the B18. This one is a little duller in color, but it's also a lot darker in comparison to the 05 or any of the O's in your marker. So I went in just those lines that curve up, and then just on the left-hand side where the shadow would be. And so now I'm going into my flame, and I've used Y13, which is a yellow tone, golden yellow tone, YR04, which is an orangey tone, and then I blended it out towards the edges with a Y00. And I don't have footage of that, but I really wanted to add to that flame look to where the light disperses out. And I'm going to die cut this using a stitched rectangle die. And here I have it mounted on my card base. So I went with blue because it's going to contrast pretty nicely with the yellow and orange tones in the background. I'm just going to use some score tape on the back of that panel to mount it. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to go in with this really simple die that says Celebrate. And I've die cut that from some black cardstock with Stick It on the back. So it's automatically going to stick down. You don't have to add glue or anything else. So I'm going to situate my letters, and then you can, if you have a hard time with kind of getting things straight when they're separated like this, like I do, use your die to kind of help you know where to place the letters. Or you could do them purposely cattywampus. Which would look cute for a young man's birthday. You could also die cut this in a few different colors and kind of change up the colors of the letters. That would be cute too. So it'd also be a good way to use up patterned paper scraps. So while I stick those down, I did want to apologize because when you see Gerry's video, which will have my backgrounds that I did and the cards she made with my backgrounds, I lost the footage from my backgrounds, and I apologize. But I will have the supplies I used to make them in the description box. So again, I apologize because I lost the footage. It's kind of upset about it. But I will have all the supplies I used. So hopefully that will make up for it. So that completes the card. I'll mount it to a card base and it will be all set, ready to go. So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the collab between Gerry and myself. Don't forget to head over to her channel to see her cards that she's created. I think you'll like those. They're really cool. And we will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you guys later. Bye!